slide, and also this the laser pointer.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Dr. Mitra. Today, I'll be presenting a preliminary findings of a ongoing research project, which is towards achieving climate resilience in medium-sized cities with the application of LCZ framework. So basically, as we all know, this climate change has increased global temperatures and has been a result of occurrence of extreme heat waves in most of the cities. In India, the number of states which are facing these heat waves have increased significantly from 2015, which was 9 to 23 states have facing these heat waves in 2020, and the country has policies in terms of nationwide and citywide action plans, and they are working towards heat response activities, specifically focusing on corrective action, basically on healthcare, adaptive measures, etc., with very little emphasis on preventive and adaptive measures in terms of urban form and functions. So here the focus is more on urban form and functions. As architects, we are more bothered about the urban form and function. So we try to understand the heat, the thermal behavior of different neighborhoods in terms of urban form and functions, which are basically, as Stewart and Oak in the LCZ framework, they've adopted these urban variables in defining the thermal behavior of cities. So here there were several research, previous research have been done in this using this framework in analyzing UHI, outdoor thermal comfort, heat stress indices, energy consumption, and etc. However, most of these research are focused towards the temperate climates and not focusing on tropics. So here we would like to analyze the comfort trends in the small and medium cities, especially focusing on the state of Andhra Pradesh in India, which is a southern state, and also identify the heat vulnerable zones in the city of Vijayawada, which is basically which was once a capital city, which was close to the capital city of Amaravati earlier, but not now. And we will also I'll also tell you why we chose Vijayawada in the subsequent slides. First, in order to analyze these comfort trends in small and medium sized cities in Andhra Pradesh, we try to understand the historic trends through historical data. The state of Andhra Pradesh currently has around 59 weather stations, wherein the historical data is available. That is available with the India Meteorological Department is only for 22 stations, wherein currently they are recording 59. But out of which, if you want to take 3 decades of data, only 10 stations have these data. These are the 59 stations that are currently recording. However, only 10 stations have data from 1991 to 2021. We just wanted to understand the impact of urbanization on these comfort trends basically. So we collected data from the India Meteorological Department with regard to um, mean maximum temperature, minimum temperature, wind speed, relative humidity, cloud data, etc. And we actually analyzed the comfort trends using heat stress indices. We analyzed for 8 indices, wherein here we are just presenting only UTCI, which has been plotted so that it can be understood better. And like indices like humidex, heat index, discomfort index, um, and then PMV, PET, SET, and UTCI. Here we have calculated this using Raymond with input based on the data that we collected from India Meteorological Station, and the ranges, the average acceptable ranges were based on the previous studies from Simath and Emmanuel, Pocha, and we used those acceptable ranges to calculate the comfort index, and this was plotted for a critical summer month, that is May, for Andhra Pradesh. So if you see here, even from 1991 to 2021, 30 years, there were a lot of data inconsistency throughout these 3 decades. So these we chose these 5 years based on the completeness of data that were available. So from 1996 to 2021, and in Andhra Pradesh, if you see, we don't have any metro cities, and we have class 1B cities as per Census of India. So here, if you see, in 1996, there is one station. Most of the places in Vijayawada had no thermal stress, and very minimal. All these yellow indicates that moderate heat stress, and then red ranges, shades of red indicates strong and extreme heat stress. So in 1996, Vijayawada was the only city which had strong heat stress. But as it moves towards 2021, we can see the number of cities have increased, though they are not metro cities, they are just small and medium cities. If you see, you can easily see that there are two cities that are being seen in 2021. So that's Anantapur, and if you see, the populations there are well below 2 million. It's not even crossed 2 million in 2021. So that is the kind of the built form which is really creating a lot of heat stress. And these two cities have moved from moderate heat stress to extreme heat stress. So there is all the more need that we need to look at the urban built form and comfort. So from this, based on this, we chose Vijayawada for a detailed study to identify what is the percentage of built form that is being vulnerable for heat stress. So this Vijayawada is basically as an area of about 61 square kilometers, and it is along the eastern Ghats. It experiences very hot and humid summers. So the summer temperature goes to about 47 degrees C, especially in the month of May, and the humidity ranges between 60% to 75%. So though we also found that the heat wave, number of days experiencing these heat waves have increased from 95 days in to 2015 to about 214 days in a year in recent days, which means almost 75% of the year we are experiencing very high heat stress. So we just so basically, we try to analyze the LCZ classes that are existing in Vijayawada using the LCZ generator. So we found the major five classes that exist in Vijayawada, they don't have any compact high rise. They did have compact mid rise and compact low rise, and we also have open low rise, lightweight low rise, and sparsely built. However, the lightweight low rise had a lot of inconsistency because during physical verification we found that there were a lot of inconsistency in the LCZ generator. So we just ignored that, and we tried to analyze the other four classes in order to identify. And if you see, the LCZ 3 and 6 constituted almost 55% of the entire city. So we just wanted to understand their performance. So we try to analyze one case for each of the LCZ within a 1 kilometer radius, so that it minimizes the variation in terms of meteorological parameter due to topography and other location specific parameters. So we try to analyze the thermal behavior. So we collected field measurements for a hot summer day for about a week. Then we also collected in order to analyze the heat stress, we also collected wet bulb globe thermometer index and the globe temperature during daytime, especially. This is due to unavailability of instruments. We just did this for one day, and then we try to compare to understand the intra LCZ thermal behavior. And then based on these are just a preliminary study. So further we will try to do this and then come up with a urban morphological toolkit that is fine like a long term goal. So this basically, if you see the intra is a thermal variation. We compare this with a rural station, which is the Guntur meteorological station located at about 35 kilometer from the city. And then we found that the low-rise developments, basically the LCZ 3 and LCZ 6, which is an open and compact low-rise, experienced almost 2.6 to 3 degrees Celsius higher uh, during the peak afternoons, that is at 3:30 p.m. And we also found that LCZ2, which is a compact mid-rise, and also the sparsely built of LCZ9, experiencing around 2 degrees Celsius lesser than the reference station during the same time period. And during night, we found that all the city stations, when compared to the reference station, experience higher temperature. And we also found that between the low rise developments, that is LCZ3 and LCZ6, LCZ3 experienced higher temperatures when compared to LCZ6. So that also gave us, so LCZ6 were much better, that is open low rise is better when compared to compact low rise, so that it can radiate back. So and see, in order to understand the it is not if we consider temperature in isolation, then in order to understand the heat stress, we try to analyze the WBGT also for these four cases. Then we found that even though during daytime, especially during peak afternoon hours, the LCZ 2, that is compact mid-rise, perform better, and the duration of extreme heat stress here was about 4 hours when compared to the low-rise development, where the duration of extreme heat stress varied between 6 to 8 hours. So and also if you see the early mornings and early evenings, the difference between the other low-rise development and compact mid-rise was very less, and compact mid-rise all had a lesser heat stress when compared to the lower developments. And during daytime, the sparse development had higher heat stress, but they were about 3 hours of strong heat stress were found. So that also is better. Uh, so here, for the medium-sized city like Vijayawada, the preferred built form as of now with the existing condition is compact mid-rise, because that would provide shade for people during daytime. And also LCZ9, wherein it is a sparse development, but there are a lot of vegetation which helps in providing comfort. So based on this, this is just a preliminary finding. We are trying to work it out with the development regulations that exist at Vijayawada, so that we can modify these build forms and try to analyze the future scenarios through simulations, and try to develop a urban morphological toolkit with varying parameters such as aspect ratio, building surface fraction, height of roughness. All these would be varied, and we'll try to analyze with the future scenarios. That is what our long term goal is. And then here, these studies clearly will help in developing codes, because whatever we study has to be implemented. So these studies, we are working closely with the Vijayawada Municipal Corporation in helping in the development of codes, city codes, wherein the heat action plans at present they are working only in terms of a corrective action. So this can be helped in providing a preventive action in terms of building regulations and development codes in order to achieve our sustainable goals like SDG 11 and SDG 13. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. We have quick one question, one of the questions we have time for.